Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode from the single player survival series, and also to the start of something very, very crazy. Okay, so today we're doing something big, and it's so big, it's going to take me a very, 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 very long time to record it. And that is, we are going to be building a guardian farm. And as you can see here, this ocean monument has barely been touched. This is one of the monuments that I took over in episode 22, I think it was. I went around this world and found a few of them, and I killed all the Elder Guardians and soul the sponges, but that's it. That's where I left it. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to get rid of all the water, build a farm, build a storage area. Okay, so let's try and get in there without dying and see what we've got going on. So hopefully I should just be able to fly in and be fairly untroubled. I've got doors there, excellent. It looks like I've actually done a little bit of work in here. I haven't been here for a while, but I didn't realise I'd done this much actually, so that's a good start. And then up here, so yeah, this is literally it. I've done a few rooms, dug it all out, and what's this? I think actually I've done a conduit as well. Are you going to let me see if I've got a conduit? No? Okay. Yes, I have. I've got a conduit. Brilliant. So, this is going better than I thought. Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to explain. This episode is going to take a long time to record, but I'm actually going to be doing it between other episodes. So I will be releasing my normal episodes at the normal rate, but then all of the grindy work I do on this one will be done in between. Because I do often have a lot of time to do grindy work, but not do voice recording, so that's why I've decided to get on with this. So if you do see weird things happening, like with my hotbar and my levels, that's the reason for it. So, I suppose we should make a start on this, shouldn't we? Now, I think the first thing I should do is get rid of all of the water inside this place, because I don't want this lot causing me any problems. I think I need to go find my sponges, and we'll get on with it. Okay, so I think I've got everything I need now. I have a stack of sponges on me, and I've also grabbed 3 shulker boxes full of sand, because in the larger rooms like this, just placing sponges down randomly is definitely not going to do anything. So you need to section it off, and it's easier to do it with sand, so you can break it easier after you're finished, and then just use the sponges in the smaller areas. And then I've also moved another portal inside here as well, because it was getting a bit scary having to come through this lot every time I wanted to come down here. So I moved that in, and it's easier to get in and out. And then I can also dry off my sponges easily just by going through to the nether and placing them down. Let's get on with it. Let's get rid of this water. I might be wrong, but I don't think this lot are happy with me. Yep, you're not welcome in here anymore. Right, so a few hours have passed, and I think I've done it. I think I've managed to get rid of all of the water in this ocean monument. So we'll just have a look around. You can see the amount of doors and sand that I've placed. This room at the back is usually the trickiest, and this is where you have to place the most doors and section off the rooms quite a lot. But it's definitely worth doing. It makes it so much easier. And I've been around. This is the back. If you're familiar with the ocean monuments, you know what I'm talking about. This is the back. And then down the sides, just put a few walls in with the sand. And I always like to put the doors in as well, so you can get through and it holds the water back as well. And then, where was it? It was this side, wasn't it? Yeah, there was one of the drowned temple things was intersecting with this as well, so that was a bit strange. Around the front, we've got some compressed ice coming through as well, so I'll grab a bit of that. Oh, I've missed a bit. I haven't actually recorded doing any of this yet, so I suppose this will be interesting, won't it? Can I do this? Now, this is normally a bit long for what I would normally do here, but you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So we'll just try spamming these on the ceiling, take the torches out of my offhand, and see if we can get rid of it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. You can see I'm well practiced in this, because this is all I've been doing for the past few hours. And hopefully that should be it. So if I dig through anyway, yeah, we should be alright. I think I've got everything now. Yeah, and that's my storage room. Brilliant. The hardest bit about this actually is making sure that you've picked up all your sponges, so constantly having to add things up to 64. But we got there, it's all done, and we didn't lose any sponges, so that's brilliant. And all I've been doing is taking these through into the nether, placing them all down, which dries them out, then using the hoe to break them again. And that's it, 64 dry sponges. Okay, so the next bit is the bit I find the most fun. I don't know why, I just do. And that is ripping out all of the blocks from this newly dried out monument. I think it's time for the first time lapse of the episode. Let's get this thing dug out. Okay, so I think I definitely haven't made this situation any better. No, 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 thank you. But on this side, things are definitely going well. I've got everything in here dug out, no more rooms. I like the sense of achievement that comes at getting to this stage, but the problem is now, the next step is I need to go out there and start clearing the water outside. And that's not fun, because I'm sure this lot aren't going to make it easy for me. But I've got one last bit to dig out, and as we all know, this is the ultimate reward from doing all this. We get 8 gold blocks. Yeah, I know. I really think this should be changed. Like, 8 gold blocks for taking on a monument, it's not good enough, is it? So, anyway, we got them. We'll add that to our many gold blocks we've already got. Okay, so that is all completely gone now. And then just over here, this is the stuff that I've got from digging all this out. So, plenty of the prismarine bricks, and also the prismarine. And then the good stuff we've got in here is the sea lanterns and the dark prismarine. This is the stuff I really want to get hold of, and I do love the sea lanterns as well. And then from the few guardians I've actually had to kill, this is what I've got. So not a great deal so far. You'll also notice I put a beacon in here, and this is of course haste 2 to make this process much quicker. But I actually want to change this now, because we're going outside and there's going to be tons of guardians all going for me. I think what I actually want to do is expand this and have 2 beacons, so we don't need haste. And we definitely don't need jump boost. But I'm thinking, actually I probably don't need speed either, but I definitely want resistance and regeneration and maybe strength as well. So I'll probably go resistance 2, strength 1 and regeneration. That'll do. So if we just dig this out a little bit, expand this, and then we can get outside and hopefully be a little bit safer. Okay, so the beacon base has been expanded. So we'll put our second beacon there. I need to put some glass up there, so that's not going to be fun. But can I actually start this? Yeah, so we'll do this as no. Oh, I need to go up for there first. All right, so we'll have resistance then. We'll do that one in there, just like that. So we now should get resistance. Yeah. Right, I need to go outside and put some glass in there. Right, and I'm definitely not going to go out this way. That's just not happening. I think what I could do, if I go out the sides, that should be fairly easy, shouldn't it? They must all be at the front entrance. Oh, there will be up here as well, wouldn't there? Right, okay. Right, I need it there. Glass there. There we go. There's the second beacon. Right. That was nice and easy. Stop shooting me. Right. So what did we say for this? We're going to have strength and resistance. So go that. Oh, sorry. Regeneration. I don't think we'll need strength too. I'm not planning on doing a lot of fighting. I'm going to try and get away when I can. So what have we got? Resistance 2, regeneration and strength. Right. Brilliant. Okay. So now I need to start actually sectioning off outside. And I've got 3 shulker boxes of sand, which may seem like a lot, but that will barely do the sides, I don't think. So I'll grab these and we'll get outside and get on with it. We're just going to go with the sand all the way around the edge, and then we're not going to do it like this from the bottom, because that is just asking for trouble. So what we're going to do, on the corners, we're going to pillar up right to the surface, and then we can build some kind of structure up there and start dropping the sand in from the top, because that is a much smarter way of doing it. And this ice is very convenient, thank you. So what we can do, we'll build something a little bit out of the water so the guardians can't get us at all, and then we can just start placing sand along the blocks, and then it'll drop down to the bottom and then all the way up to the surface. So I'm going to get on with this now. I'm going to go around to the other corners, get all these built up and figure out where I need to be building. Now this is under ice, isn't it? Oh my god. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Anyway, I'll get this figured out and I'll be back. Right, so I've got all those pillars built up on the corner, and I was thinking that I'd been quite unlucky by having these massive icebergs in the way. But actually, thinking about it, this is a big help, isn't it? Because it means I don't have to drain the water in this part. All I need to do, actually, is drain the water around it, and then I can dig them out, and then we're there. So I was actually going to dig all this out and then start placing the sand in, but that would have been really silly. So I'm going to leave them as they are. I'll maybe dig across just so I can see where I'm going. But other than that, I'm going to leave these icebergs and all this ice untouched, and I'm just going to start placing the sand around, and then we can start removing the water. So I think it's time for another time lapse. Let's get all this sand placed. Okay, so as you can see, we now have all of the sand in around the edge, so the Guardians are completely trapped. After the time lapse, there was a little bit more to do because the bits I couldn't drop in from the top, obviously I had to go underneath and place all this, which was a little bit more dangerous, but we got it all done. That's the first bit done. And now we need to start sectioning off the inside. And what I like to do first is the bit in the middle. So just around this part here. And the main reason for that is so I have a way of getting in and out. Because at the moment, I just have a block dug out down here somewhere. And it's really hard to find, especially when this lot are shooting at me. And look, see, I'm taking so much damage already. So we're going to do it the same way. I'm going to get up here. I've got some prismarine on me, so I can use that to start building out a frame. And then we can drop some sand in and have an easy way of getting in and out. So I'm going to get on with that now. And we'll have a look at this in a second. Okay, so I did a little bit more than I said I was going to there. I was just going to put a square around this centre section, but I've also continued the edges right along to the edges of the whole farm. So we now have a little grid structure that we can start actually taking this water out. Now, I could actually start spamming sponges now, but doing it that way, you have to be really fast and it can be a bit tricky. So the best thing to do is actually section this off a bit smaller. Now, I normally like to do about 5 wide sections. Mark out a 5 wide section and then go all the way along and then come back along the other way and you end up with a few 5 by 5 squares. Then you can just go down with your sponges, take all the water out, and how did you get in here? Rude. I was about to say, I've killed all these Guardians in the middle to make this easier for me, but somehow he got in here. Yeah, so once you've got the 5 by 5 squares, you can just go down to the bottom with your sponges and take all the water out. But what I've done here, as this is a little bit smaller, unfortunately I couldn't get any 5s in without leaving a daft little section in the middle. So what I've done, I've got a 3, a 4, and a 3. So once I get all this sand in, these are going to be really easy to take out because the smaller they... Where are you coming from? Because the smaller these are, the easier they are to do. So it does take a little bit longer to place the sand, obviously, because you've got a lot more to place. But it makes using the sponges way easier. So it's up to you how you want to do it. If you just want to do bigger sections and take out more water at a time, or if you want to place more sand and take out less water at a time, entirely up to you how you want to do it. I tend to go for somewhere in between, but this little bit we're doing in the middle, it's definitely the more sand approach. So I'll get this done, and then we will have a much easier way of getting in and out without getting attacked by Guardians. Okay, so that is that first little section done, and I've also taken out the blocks on the top as well, because I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but the design I'm using actually requires me to completely remove the monument. And I know it is such a shame because I do love these buildings. I do think they look really cool. But for this design, I need to get rid of it all. And even worse than that, I actually need to dig the whole footprint of it right down to bedrock. So I have got a lot of work to do. I need to get rid of all the water on top after placing all the sand. I then need to get rid of all the sand, dig out the monument, and then dig out the whole place right down to bedrock. Because we're going to be using fall damage, but we're also taking advantage of the fact that the lower down you build a farm, the higher the rates for the mob spawning. So we're going to do that and build it fairly low down in here. But I believe Guardians need about 30 blocks to drop down. And the spot we're at here is level 40. So we do need to go down quite a bit to be able to kill them instantly with fall damage. So we're utilising every block of this. We're not wasting any of the spawning area in this ocean monument, and this whole area needs digging right out and right down to bedrock. Okay, so now it's time for the main part of this episode. It's time to remove all of the water, and while I'm at it, I'm probably going to take out the icebergs. I've got my sand, I've got my sponges, let's do this. Now, isn't that a beautiful sight? Yes, we've got it all done. All of the water is out, and both of the icebergs have been dug out as well. This took a while, I'm not going to lie. This took a very, very, very long time. But you know what? It's so worth it. I love getting to this stage, partly because I just love the look of these things. And as I've already said, it is going to be removed, but you know what? We can take a minute to appreciate it anyway, can't we? While I was doing that, I did have an idea. Well, I had a couple of ideas actually, so I'm going to tell you what those are now, and you can let me know in the comments what you think of them. The first one is, I actually want to keep the monument, but not here. I want to rebuild this whole monument in the nether, in my nether hub. So I have been doing a little bit of work on that, and if we just go through here, we're not at the nether ceiling anymore, because I think the last time we came through here together, it was actually in the nether ceiling, but I've actually been doing a little bit of work on bringing my nether hub down to a more reasonable level. So this is the section I've got here. So what I'm thinking is having the portal in like the front of a monument and digging out a massive area and rebuilding a monument down here. And then obviously they don't look great without the water behind them, but we could have some kind of blue blocks like lapis or I don't know, blue glass or something. But because the one we've got is in the frozen ocean and we've got all the packed ice around, we could do something like that as well. Have like the packed ice as a backdrop with the blue glass as well. That could look pretty good. And speaking of the packed ice, and of course I should say compressed ice because that's what it's called now. Talking about that, what I actually want to do is keep that as well. I did say I was going to have glass around the sand, but that's quite a standard thing to do and I want to do something a little bit different. So I think what I want to do actually is build a huge iceberg going all the way around this thing. So for a start, we'll put the compressed ice all the way around this sand and then we can get rid of the sand and that'll just have like a cool blue backdrop. But from there, I want to build a huge iceberg going up. So if you've watched my Ramblecraft series, I'm thinking along the lines of the slime pit I built around my slime chunk. That kind of thing. So going up around the edge, steeper on the inside, and then like a shallower thing on the outside. So I think that could look really good. And have like a big secret base inside it. Because the farm I'm building, although it's very, very efficient, it doesn't look too good. So we do need to hide it away somehow. And that is what I'm thinking. So let me know what you think about those ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. And the other thing I did as well during the time lapse, which I forgot to explain earlier, is that I actually added another 5 blocks around the monument. When you're building any kind of mob farm, guardian farms included, you always need to leave a gap around where your spawning area or platform is going to be. That's all I've done here, and all it does is just increase the spawn rates. I like to do that after I've got all the middle bit done, because if you just put the sand here, then the guardians have more room to spread out. So I like to box them in the area where I know they can spawn, and then once I've got all that out, I'll do an extra bit around the edge and take that out as well. And then one other thing I want to show you as well, this chunk here, let's turn, and there is the proof. This guy right here, this, I think it's this chunk here, is actually a slime chunk, because I've been under here. I didn't show this in the time lapse because it's not that interesting, but I've been under the monument and I've taken out all of the remaining water down here. So that's how we discovered that the one we've got at the front just over here is a slime chunk. So I do actually need to protect that as well. But next time we are actually going to be making a lot of progress, and this is all going to go. So I'm going to take out the monument. We'll keep the blocks back because I'm really excited to do that project in the nether. But after we've got rid of the monument, we're also going to be digging everything down to bedrock as well. And it will all be spawn proof, so we won't have to worry about the slimes. But for now, I think I'm going to have to leave it there. This has been a massive amount of work, and I hope you have enjoyed it. I really liked it anyway. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.